Hi, my name is Grayson, and just talking about leadership, just thinking about this whole thing from Numbers 13 where I said 12 leaders go in and then 2 come back with a good report, 10 with a bad report. But it says that of Caleb and Joshua that they had a different spirit. And I mentioned last time that people with a different spirit are people who speak differently. But also, people with a different spirit see things differently. And as leaders, they went into the land, they saw exactly the same as the other people saw. They saw the crowds, they saw the high walls, they saw the giants in the land. The difference wasn't what they saw outside of their world, it's what they saw on the inside. It's what they were seeing from. And as leaders, we've got to be people who see positively. We see prophetically. We see what the Spirit is doing, not just what the voices of the crowd are saying, not the negative things around us. Anybody can see a problem. Leaders see the answer to a problem. And when we think about leadership, we're not just talking about people who see what everybody else sees. We're not weathermen who just read what's going on because we've seen it before and, oh, well, this has come round again. What we have to do is the same thing. We need to be people who are people of the Spirit, who see by the Spirit. There's a great story in 1 Kings chapter 18 where it says that Elijah takes his servant up on the mountain and he begins to pray, and he says to his servant, go and look out towards the sea to see if anything's happening. He had prophesied that rain was coming. Rain was going to come off the sea. And so he says, go and have a look at it. So the servant climbs up the mountain, gets up to the top, looks out towards the sea and sees nothing. Comes back down to Elijah. He says, there's nothing happening. He says, go and have another look. And so the servant climbs up again, has another look, looks out, same sea, same picture, exactly the same, comes back down and says, Elijah, there's nothing there. He says, go and have another look. So you can imagine this servant thinking to himself now, is he having a laugh or what? You know, it's boiling hot, we're in the middle of a drought, I'm climbing up here. So he climbs up, has another look a third time. Nothing has changed. Nothing. Comes back to Elijah and he says, there's nothing different. It's exactly the same. Elijah says, go and have another look. This happens 6 times. Servant gets up. You can imagine him frustrated, feeling, what on earth is all this going on? Comes back to Elijah. There's nothing there. Elijah says, go and have another look. On the 7th time, he climbs up, looks out over towards the sea. And as he's probably about to turn away, it says that a cloud the size of a man's hand begins to rise. Runs back down to Elijah and he says, there's a cloud, the size of a man's hand, right? Elijah says, come on, quick, the rain is coming. Then it says, you read the scripture in 1 Kings 18, that the skies grew dark, then the rain started falling and everything started happening. From the tiniest sight of a cloud the size of a man's hand, to all of a sudden now rain everywhere, and the famine was broken. Why was it broken? I tell you why, because a leader saw what nobody else could see. You see, as Elijah sat on that mountain, he sent his servant to see what Elijah had already seen. He wasn't asking him, can you see anything? I hope you're going to find it. Elijah had faith and was sending the servant to see what he couldn't see. And here's the thing that we need to remember. Sometimes leaders are seeing what other people can't see. If your leader's encouraging you, leaders challenging, maybe they're seeing things you just can't see at the moment. And we've got to trust our inner sight as leaders to move us into what God has got for us. So leaders see things differently.